Kung Fu Panda 5, is it going to happen? Everything we understand. Will the martial arts animated series return in Kung Fu Panda 5? Po's much-awaited comeback in Kung Fu Panda 4 finally made an appearance in March 2024. Despite his obvious flaws, Po, a clumsy panda, is chosen to be the protector of the Valley of Peace in this family-friendly series that made its premiere in 2008 with the film of the same name. The entire family has enjoyed laughing along with the well-made action sequences in the Kung Fu Panda franchise, which is largely supported by the charisma of its star, Jack Black. Before Kung Fu Panda 4 was announced, the franchise appeared to have faded away from theaters following sequels in 2011 and 2016, which at last showed up in 2024. Though it barely altered the 15-year-old franchise, the film's initial reception from critics was tepidly positive, with many praising it for being safe and approachable. Above all, DreamWorks' box office problems were resolved with Kung Fu Panda 4, which is already expected to be a huge hit. This cash boost could be sufficient to persuade the animation studio to approve Kung Fu Panda 5. Is Kung Fu Panda 5 verified? Regarding Kung Fu Panda 5, DreamWorks hasn't taken any action because the fourth movie is still relatively new. But since the film is already expected to be a huge hit, the studio will probably want to take advantage of the positive attention it is receiving right now and reassure fans that there will be more in the franchise. Although the fourth movie seemed to be intended to be the last in the Kung Fu Panda universe, a spin-off or sequel of some kind is probably in the works. Kung Fu Panda 5 cast. The most recent movie in the series felt a lot like a handing over of the torch, and if a fifth movie is ever made, the cast of Kung Fu Panda the 4th may not come back together for it. Since 2008, Jack Black has starred in the franchise, but his satisfying character development in Kung Fu Panda the 4th may make a comeback less likely. However, Black's appearance in the upcoming movie might make it more appealing to viewers without taking away from the new stars. Speaking of rising stars, it's very possible that Zhen from Awkwafina will play the main role in any upcoming Kung Fu Panda movies, even though this hasn't been formally confirmed. Details of the Kung Fu Panda 5 story. Po has now ascended to his next role as spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace, as was disclosed in the conclusion of Kung Fu Panda 4. This is a significant shift for the character, and his hesitation to take on the role was similar to his hesitation to become the Dragon Warrior years earlier. A follow-up might examine Po's adjustment to his new position and depict him once more as an outsider who needs to adjust to a position for which others believe he is unfit. The conclusion of Kung Fu Panda 4 revealed that Po has now advanced to his next position as the Valley of Peace's spiritual leader. His unwillingness to take the role echoed his earlier refusal to become the Dragon Warrior, which is a significant shift for the character. Po's adjustment to his new position and his perception of his own inadequacy could be further explored in a follow-up, which would recast Po as an outsider who needs to adapt. On the other hand, Kung Fu Panda 4 was essentially a passing of the baton, with Zhen emerging as the new Dragon Warrior at the finish. Kung Fu Panda 5 might follow the young fox as she attempts to absorb the same difficult lessons as Po, and it might humorously reverse roles by placing Po in the master's position. A combination of the two that tracks Po and Zhen as they attempt to adjust to their new roles together would probably be the most likely outcome for a second sequel.